So as many of you know, the Repentance update came out within the last couple of days. I believe it was March 31st was the official release date, and I can't play it. Sad as that is. What you're looking at right now is actually the Nintendo Switch version of Afterbirth Plus. I got this ages ago. It was really cheap. And what you're seeing right now is actually my first run on a blank file for this version of the game. It's also my first time ever playing with a controller, so you'll see me fumble with the buttons on occasion, but none of that really matters in terms of Repentance. As far as the Repentance issue is concerned, there's actually a very simple reason why I can't play Repentance at the moment, and a couple of you have probably already guessed this. It's because it's not coming to Mac. As stupid as that sounds. But I use a MacBook as my default laptop. You can tell it's 2 AM when I'm recording this. I use a MacBook as my default computer for everything, including, that's always what I've played Binding of Isaac on, is what I play my Steam games on, is what I do most of my work. Contrary to popular opinion, I do things other than gaming. So, unfortunately, if Repentance isn't coming to Mac, then I can't play it. That's the long and short of it right there. And that was actually partly why I got the Switch version, because I thought, okay, if it's not coming to Mac, then I'll grab one of the console ports, and then hopefully, when that gets released, we'll be able to pick up from there. Problem is, Repentance isn't being released for consoles until much later this year. I believe they said the last quarter of the year. They didn't give a specific time frame. And my concern is that by that point, Repentance as a fad will have kind of lost its relevancy, if you know what I mean, because chances are if you're interested in the update, if you're interested in the new content, you'll go off and you'll go watch someone else who's playing it right now. And I don't blame you for that. That's what I'll be doing. I'm hoping for like a Vinesauce stream or something. Maybe Greyfruit will be playing it, I don't know. But I guess my concern is that if you subscribe to this channel because of Isaac, which chances are you probably did, let's be realistic for a moment. The only video on my channel that has any realistic amount of views at all is the Isaac tier list. It brought a lot of new people on board, it got a lot of people interested in hearing me talk about Isaac for one reason or another. I don't know why that video got popular, it just did, but okay. So unfortunately, if that's what you subscribed for, if you're only here because you were hoping I'd talk about Repentance or I'd make another tier list or something, that won't happen for a long time. And unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about that. So if that's going to be a reason why some people unsubscribe, then fair enough. I'm not going to try and persuade anyone to stay. I do still want to do Repentance content, and I probably will when the update hits consoles later in the year, but I can't guarantee when that's going to happen, if there's going to be any delays or anything, so I can't make any promises at the moment, I just can't. The other issue, which is a little bit more pressing, is, well, for starters, the Nintendo Switch version of the game isn't great. I didn't know this when I picked it up. Obviously, like I said before, it was cheap, so I just got it. But I did another run after finishing this playthrough, and oh my god, the slowdown in some areas is appallingly bad. I did a run as Azazel. My only real goal, the run that you're watching right now, my only goal was to unlock Azazel because he speeds up some of the other unlocking processes. I'm tired, leave me alone, I don't know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm getting at. I wanted Azazel to make things easier. There you go. And Sad Bombs plus Azazel's Brimstone Laser made the game slow to a fucking crawl. If that's going to be a regular occurrence in the Switch version, I'm not playing it, I'm sorry. Like, slowdown is one of those things I have a very low tolerance for. Frame rate issues just drive me nuts. I can't stand playing games like that. And thinking about doing like the Delirium fight and stuff with frame rate issues, that's just not happening. So I'll try it again a few times to see how the Switch version fares, and maybe there's a workaround, maybe there's a fix. If anyone knows, feel free to let me know, but please check the comments so I don't have 500 people telling me the same thing. I already get that on the tier list video. Guys, I know that the Keeper can get to a fire rate of 5, I'm aware. You don't all need to tell me, it's fine. So the other option really would be investigate the PS4 version to see if that's a bit more stable, if there are any frame rate issues with that version of the game. I really don't want to buy this game for a third time, so I would wait for a price drop. I'd wait for there to be a sale or something, so I can kind of justify it to myself a little bit more. I've already bought this game twice, I don't want to buy it again. And also regarding the Repentance not coming to Mac issue, I know someone in the comments is gonna say, like, oh, why don't you just get a gaming PC? Dude, go fuck yourself. I'm not buying a PC, I'm not buying an entire rig just to play Binding of Isaac for the internet. That's not gonna happen. So, if you want to buy me a gaming PC, then by all means. But no, that's completely unrealistic. I know most of you wouldn't suggest that, but there's always going to be that one guy in the comments, and just, yeah, I'm preemptively shooting that in the foot right now. I'm not getting a gaming PC just to play Isaac. Not happening. I do apologize for this video in a sense, because it's going to be very negative, but it's kind of a negative thing right now, so it's sort of difficult to put a positive spin on it. Like I said before, assuming Repentance does come out later in the year and it does hit consoles, I would like to do videos on it. You know, I read the changelog, I read through the patch notes. Some of the changes seem really interesting, some of them I agree with, some of them I disagree with. Keeper is playable, which, you know, that's a step in the right direction. Magdalene seems even worse. Oh yeah, since I said the dreaded M word, being boring and being bad are not mutually exclusive concepts, okay? You can be boring and you can be bad. I felt like that was quite clear in the video, you know, the one video. But so many people think that they are the most clever fucking person in the world for saying, like, oh, you said we're not rating characters based on how fun they are, and then you call Maggie boring. Maggie is boring and bad in Afterbirth Plus, okay? It's possible to be both. I don't know why people can't grasp that. But whatever, keep commenting, just boost me in the algorithm. Actually, no, don't. I don't care about the algorithm at all. Please stop saying that. By the way, this is the point when I officially just won the run because I've got Guppy's head and car battery, so yeah, you don't need to watch anymore. It's not going to be a very difficult run from this point onwards. It's very strange going back to Blank File Isaac again, because I remember the very first time I played this game having a hell of a time with it, and it was under exactly the same conditions that I'm playing here, except obviously with a keyboard instead of controller. But it seemed, you know, it seemed so much more difficult back then. It really does just come down to practice and knowledge checks. I still don't really like moving Isaac with an analog stick. It still feels a bit weird to me, a bit wrong, but that's just because it's, you know, going against muscle memory. But yeah, that's basically all I had to say here. You know, bottom line is I can't play Repentance at the moment. I physically can't. I don't have the capabilities to. So it doesn't matter how many times you ask. It doesn't matter how many times you very rudely demand. A couple of people have already done that on the tier list video. You know, typing out in all caps, update this, you need to update this now. Like, again, you know, eat shit, I can't. You know, if you're that interested in a Repentance tier list, go make your own one. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a real shame. And it's not Ed McMillan's fault, it's not Nicalis' fault, it's Apple's fault for disabling support for 32-bit applications with newer versions of OS X. My laptop, actually, I've specifically avoided updating my laptop because I don't want to deal with that. I want to be able to play 32-bit games on my standard computer, my standard device. So I've actually avoided updates for a long time, but that was just the most idiotic decision. You see little Loki fuck me over there by shooting the bomb out of the way. I'm kind of paying attention to the video. I played this run a few hours ago and I've forgotten most of what happens. But yeah, that was the biggest dickhead decision that Apple could have possibly made. It has screwed over so many game developers, so many app developers even. and I will never understand what the thought process was there. It just makes no sense to me whatsoever. Yeah, it's not Ed McMillan's fault. I'm not blaming him for once. Not Nicalis' fault. You know, direct your hate towards the right people if you're a fellow frustrated Mac user. So I guess while I have everyone's attention for a bit, because I'm just looking at the timer and I realise I've still got 12 minutes left to talk over, I guess I'll talk a little bit about what I do have planned for the near future. I kind of don't want to spoil the game in question, but I recently fell in love with a very unusual RPG, and I'd actually like to do a full playthrough of it. I haven't done a full playthrough on this channel in, God, probably about 6 or 7 years. It would have been back when I was at university, because obviously, you know, when you're at university you have so much free time. No, yeah, that was during a time when I was just a little bit more in the mindset for recording. Also, Let's Plays in general were a bit more popular at the time. I don't even see people really use the term Let's Play anymore. We've kind of shifted towards more of a streaming-based viewing culture rather than like edited content. Streaming isn't really my thing. I'm not good at live commentary. In case you can't tell, this is all completely unscripted, which is why I'm stuttering and mumbling like an absolute retard. But I'm very interested in doing a full series based on this game in question. I kind of want to spoil it. It is a sequel, but you don't need to have played the original to appreciate it. I promise you that. And I'll do my best in the series to kind of fill in the small blanks here and there, just to give a bit of context to people who maybe aren't quite grasping what's going on because it's a sequel and they haven't played the original. But that's going to be happening at some point, hopefully. I haven't actually started recording it yet, but I've kind of prepared to, in the sense that, like, I know how I'm going to be approaching it. So if/when we get to that, I'm very hesitant to make promises at the moment, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to get that started soon. In terms of the Smash montages, they never get any fucking views. No one ever watches these, but I have fun making them. So those are kind of more of a passion project for me as far as YouTube is concerned. That having been said, I've been really burnt out on Smash recently. I haven't touched it much. None of the DLC characters have really hit the spot for me for a while. If you go back and watch my most recent Smash montage, you'll notice that I don't really play Sephiroth all that much. It's just because I don't like the character. As simple as it is. Pyra and Mythra are obviously very good. They're high tier characters, but they don't really interest me in that way. I don't like sword fighters, and unfortunately that's a big portion of the DLC characters, so yeah, Smash has gone a bit stale for me recently. I'm hoping that one of the last 2 DLC characters will be a little bit more interesting for me, but And aside from that, I don't really have too much else planned, so if you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them on this video. I might pin this on the Isaac tier list because it's kind of just a good way of answering, you know, when are you doing Repentance? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? I don't know, because I can't play it, is the honest answer. And I'm not going to do the thing where I watch someone else's gameplay and then make a tier list based on that, for example, because to me that's not my opinion. I'm just kind of looking at someone else's gameplay and making like a guess, almost. I would much rather... I don't think I can accurately give my thoughts on something unless I've tried it myself. That's basically where I sit. So I would want to play Repentance before I did any sort of analysis or tier list or anything along those lines. I just don't see any other way of doing it. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say. The remainder of this video, I don't just want to sit here and ramble for 20 fucking minutes. So I'll probably just let the rest of this run play out. It's not the most interesting run in the world, but hey, first time playing with a controller, you get to see me make some stupid decisions and miss some really obvious stuff here and there. Which is always fun. People like it when I fail. And then they like pointing out when I fail in the comments, thinking that they are the only person to have ever said this, ever. And they're incredibly clever for doing so. I'm actually half tempted to turn off the comments on the tier list video, because, man, most of you are fine, but the vocal minority are really getting on my nerves. You might have noticed I've been a bit snappier in the replies recently. Yeah, there's a reason for that. There's a good reason for that. Anyway, I'll leave you here. This has been done in several takes, actually, because it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm tired. So I'm going to go to bed, I'm going to leave this upload. And yeah, hopefully, I don't know, maybe someone can answer my questions about the Switch version. The performance issues seem like a real problem, and apparently it's better in handheld mode, but then I can't record gameplay because I need to have my capture card hooked up to the TV. So there's just all these weird technical problems going on, and it's just very impractical. It's like God himself is preventing me from playing Repentance, you know? It's it's a lot of small things that have come together. So anyway, that's it for now. I'll just let the remainder of this run play out. It's nothing particularly interesting, so if you want to stop watching here, I wouldn't blame you. So either way, take care, good night, stay safe, wash your hands, etc, etc, etc.
was cornered. His mother, fueled with the desire to serve her God, was bearing down on Isaac. "I will do as I am told, my lord. I love you above all else," Isaac's mother repeated to herself. This was the end of the line for Isaac. His mother was far too strong for him. But just as he accepted his fate, God intervened, sending an angel down from above to stop his mother's hand. And just like that, it was over.